Hi, my name's Angus and I'm the founder of the SISU Way, and I'm recording this video just to give you some insights on how to get the best of the program and how to use the platform. The SISU Way is a form of wellness resilience coaching. Okay, that's what I like to call it. And a lot of the program development and design is based on not just my own lived experience as an individual, but also based on my professional coaching experience working with athletes, executives, people in high pressure situations, and military veterans. So it's been designed, developed over the years, and what the platform is here for is to really help you be better tomorrow at what you do today. That's it. What we're trying to do is create something that reaches out to people so they've got a personal coach kind of in their pocket. What's going to happen is when we send you the SISU Way link and you try to log in, it's going to ask you to put in your email. So right now, primary function, email, create a password. It will send an email to your primary email address, and that's how you set your password and you go into the system. It opens up and it just really asks you to log your session. Okay, now like all good coaching, okay, there is a personal commitment to getting better. So this is what this is about, okay? It's not a passive system, it is an active system. And the more you put in, the more you get out of it, okay? So you have to be accountable to yourself, but you can, if you're in a group of people, you know, you can help each other be accountable to go through the system. And then fundamentally, if you need to reach out to me personally for extra coaching, whether that's personal coaching, movement coaching, biomechanics, leadership, all the things that are combined in the system, yeah, I'm here for you. What's unique about the SISU Way is it's a holistic program. So it looks at you as a person. So you're using the platform for you, okay? So this is why it's important that you use it regularly and put the information into it. And there's categories: heart, body, mind, soul. The heart situation, heart health, is about relationship health. So you log in your relationships, who are you contacting or making contact with during the week. Okay, this is really important. Okay, loneliness is a crippling disease for many people. So you've got to look at what are your relationships doing for you. So always be as honest as you can when you log information. If you've done nothing, then be honest about it. If you've done something, you know, who's in my life, who am I making contact with, and just put a bit of information in there, because what we're trying to do on the back end, when we create your own personal visual data plan so you can see your own patterns of behavior, it's your language and your inputs will define whether your progress is whether you're making growth and you're improving, or you're in a situation of decline, or you're on a plateau. So heart, relationships, 2, 3 contacts that you've made today during this reflection period. Body is physical movement. Your weekly baseline that you should be achieving for health benefits and growth is 150 minutes. Okay, so that's what you're targeting. If you hit 150 minutes, you'll see on your personal dashboard, it goes green. Green is good. Okay, if you get more than 10% over your 150, it goes to blue, right? Blue means you're sailing, right? Or you're flying, however you want to look at it. But blue is really important because that means you're banking time in your physical component. Now, if you're doing less than the 150-minute baseline on a weekly basis, what's going to happen is it will show yellow and red. Okay, movement is magical. Momentum is magical. As people, we've got to function physically, right? If we don't get our basic movement functions going, it impacts us in our relationships, in our mental agility, and in our emotional state. That's the body, heart, body, mind. Mind is about mental agility. Okay, when we get a bit dogmatic, particularly as we get older, we get set in our ways, we can actually become fragile. We undermine our own resilience because we're not curious anymore. So mind is, what am I learning in your life? Doesn't matter if you're 60 or you're 20. Set yourself up for learning goals. So what am I learning this week? What am I recording in this reflection? Put in your growth points, yeah? What 1 or 2 things have I learned? We learn something every day if we care to. What we forget to do is reflect on it and record it and realize the positive impact it has in our life. So that's your mind, mental agility. Let's learn, let's be curious. It makes us better people. And then soul, that's a hard one. That's kind of your gratitude space. It feels a wee bit esoteric, should be connected to your life purpose, what I call the BHAG. Okay. But gratitude is part of your reflection, and we have to reflect on the good stuff. We're oftentimes, the human condition is very strange. We could be immersed in great beauty, in great happiness and wonderful environments with wonderful people, but we just detect negative emotions or negative outcomes, right? We have to stop. We have to practice gratitude. In the soul, it will say, what are your gratitude points? Heart, body, mind, soul. Write the things you're thankful for. It might be health. It might be your family. It might be your job. It might be your opportunity to nature bathe. I do that every day in my garden in one form or another. Okay, but you've got to spend time reflecting, because these reflection moments are critical to brain health, because we have to get our brain to work for us. And a lot of people give up on training, physical training, going to the gym. Okay, but I'm telling you right now, getting your brain to work for you is one of the toughest things you do, because it needs a mindset shift. And part of that mindset shift is exercising gratitude. What am I thankful for? You compound those incremental gratitude moments. What your brain will ultimately do is show you your pathway to success, your pathway to victory, your pathway to nirvana, whatever it is you do as a person. It's all about your spiritual component, your life purpose. And then the last segment in there is your 1%. What's my 1%? Okay, it's a bit of a cliche. Every week, if I grow 1%, you know, at the end of the year, I've got a 50% improvement in my life. It is a bit of a cliche. It's a bit of a mantra, but it is really worth recording. Where have I grown? Really try hard to put down tangible things, because growth actually is incremental. We don't see it. This is why we get overwhelmed with news media or gossip or the negative vibes, negative influences in our life. They can really bring us down. In what we need to do is sometimes look inward and go, well, actually, I've grown. And these are the places I've grown. So your 1%, it might not be 1%. And I'm not asking you to get a calculator out, mathematically look at it, because in some things in your relationships, you might have had an upswing of 10%, okay, this week, because you've had connected with 10% more people than you did last week. Okay, in your exercise or your movement minutes, you might have had an upswing of 10% in time, but that doesn't necessarily translate as 10% into the activity you're doing and what you're capable of. That might be a more incremental space. Your mental growth. I'm trying to play the guitar really hard, right? Getting notes. I feel like I'm at a fraction of 1% weekly, and it's really demoralizing. But what's really important is to really just, as you jot down what you're doing, right, the SISU Way program can start tracking incremental growth in a way that you can recognize it. So we're tapping into the positive. We're realizing where we're growing, and we're realizing what we might need to do in other areas to sustain our wellness resilience holistically. Okay, so those are your pillars. And then once you're in the session, it's also going to ask you other things more in the physical space, which are really important. Wellness is about self-love, self-care, looking after yourself, however you want to call it. But it's really about this. It's about me. We might be we players in the world or me players in the world, right? But you've got to, whoever you are and however you're shaped, you've got to know what you're doing to yourself. Okay, so it's going to ask you about sleep patterns, right? It's going to ask you about fuel, your primary fuel that you put in your engine. What are you eating? It's going to ask you about whether or not you fast, and if you do fast, what's the timing? Fasting is very easy, right? Very easy. Okay, we overcomplicate things. If I go to bed, if I stop eating, like nil by mouth after 8 p.m. and maybe just drink water, and then by 8 a.m. when I've woken up, gone through my morning routine, and I've only had water, right, then that's fasting. That's a 12-hour fasting window. Even if you've been asleep, it still counts, okay? So sometimes we overcomplicate stuff. Don't overcomplicate it. It's going to ask you duration of sleep. It's going to ask you how much water you actually drunk in the day. And it's just water. Hydration in the SISU Way equals water, not coffee, not tea, not supplements. It's all about the water. Water is your friend. We need to learn to love water. It flushes our system, right? It can be fizzy water out of a tin or a bottle, right? It can be filtered water, or if you're in a place where you're drinking tap water and it's good, that's okay. But it has to be H2O, not H2O plus. So, and then your exercise minutes, right? You have to put in your movement minutes. So when we talk about exercise and movement, it's not me just getting out my chair, going to the bathroom, you know, once an hour or once every 90 minutes because I sit in an office all day. It's sustainable movement for a minimum of 15 minutes where your heart rate's up a wee bit, you get a bit of a puff on. Walking with purpose is one of the best exercises the human can do because it's easy, almost as simple as breathing. We just do it naturally. We neglect it because we live and sit in offices, sit on sofas, in classrooms and all that way too much. Get out and walk. So that's it. That's the thing. And then when you've done all that, it's going to show you your progress dashboard, right? And it's going to show you your accumulator in all these subsets. Okay, so you're going to have your own personal dashboard. Here's the accumulator on your exercise minutes, your relationship building, your sleep patterns. Okay, and then on the back of that, when you click into it, it's a nice visual data representation of how you're progressing and how you're maintaining your patterns of behavior. So that's it, the SISU Way. It's wellness resilience coaching for you. It's all about you. What you put in, you get out. You can reach out to me for help and guidance in any way, shape or form. That's what I'm here for as a coach. I love helping people be better tomorrow at what they do today. I can guide you, I can facilitate you, but you do you, okay? And in order for that, you to get the best out of the system, right, you need to use it a minimum of 3 times a week. A lot of people say, go to the gym twice a week. Yeah, but that's not much. It's an investment, but you're not going to see a return, okay? You use this 3 times, 4 times a week, you start seeing the return on your energy. And remember, because change is incremental, growth is incremental, 4 weeks, 5 weeks is your absolute minimum before you start seeing those gains. SISU is about resilience over life. It's your life investment in yourself. Invest in yourself and be better tomorrow at what you do today. That's me. I'm Angus. Really thank you for being part of the SISU Way. Reach out to me if you need any help. Let's rock this baby. Let's do it, people. Thank you very much.